What is good, basketball enthusiasts? It is Trill Buckets back with another video. Now this video I wanted to bring you guys because this guy has seemed to have flown under the radar with regards to the MVP conversation. I am one of those guys that chose Luka as the MVP this year, and I do think he's more than likely gonna win the MVP. But a month into the season, we've actually been getting a taste of who could and can't be the MVP. We see Jason Tatum literally springing up the ladders extremely fast. We see guys like Giannis still up there. We see guys like Embiid still up there. Even Jokic, he's there a little bit. It's gonna be hard for Jokic to win his third one because of voter fatigue, of course. As we know, Jokic is the back-to-back MVP, so it's gonna be hard to get that third one. Now, to do that is extremely hard. That is one of the most hardest things to do in the league because those are career years after career years, and having 3 career years in a row, it's pretty tough. It's one of those things that it's rare to see, and if you see it, that's probably one of the greats in the game. Devin Booker is a sleeper. In fact, he's not even being considered for the MVP, and I think it's a crime. Now, we all know I'm a Lakers fan, and we all know I despise Phoenix. Not only did I dislike the historic Suns with Steve Nash, Mike D'Antoni, Amari Stoudemire, guys like that, but these new age Suns, a lot of people in the basketball community as a whole, outside of the Pacific Division, don't like the Suns. They feel like Book is too cocky. They feel like the team is too cocky. There's guys on the team like Cameron Payne who were just out the league a couple years ago. Now they're on a contending team. Though he's playing a lot better than he's ever played before, they still feel like he hasn't earned it, especially the team as a whole, because each time they've been favorites going into the West in the playoffs, they've lost. Now, they did make the finals once, and they were up 2-0 on the Bucks, and we saw what happened there. DeAndre Ayton got bullied by Giannis the rest of the series. This year, it's another year where the Suns are a top team in the West, and again, it does hurt me to say that because, like I tell you guys each and every day, and if y'all haven't seen my Uncut Opinions video, I am a diehard Lakers fan, so it sucks that they're at the top of the division, at the top of the conference, but regardless of anything else, they are at the top. And what we know about MVPs is your team has to have a pretty good record, a winning record at that. As it stands, Luka's team is at number 10. Now, we do know that the West is separated by 1 or 2 games with regards to the 1st through 10 seeds. Said that in my month in review video. Go watch that at the end of this video. They are 10-10. Meanwhile, the Suns, they're 14-6, led by Devin Booker's 27 points per game, which you could really average up to 28 because it's 27.9. He's averaging 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and he has a 22.4 player efficiency rating. Now, I don't recall there being many MVP talks surrounding Book throughout these last couple years of the Suns being pretty good, but this year more than ever, I think it should start happening, but it really hasn't. He's played majority of the year without his running mate in the backcourt in Chris Paul, which technically puts him at the backup point guard position if you look at their depth chart on ESPN. Then he has guys behind him at the shooting guard position that aren't as good as he is. Obviously, Landry Shamet and Damian Lee are pretty good players, but they're not as good as he is. So when Cam Payne is not on the floor and Book is the one, it's kind of tough to facilitate scoring when you're the one, when you don't have a shooting guard that can really hoop like that. Now, I will say Mikal Bridges has stepped up to a level that he's needed to a few years back even. In the last couple games, his shot has been pure. Hopefully he can keep that throughout the season, but Book has played majority of the year without Chris Paul, and Cam Johnson went down not too long ago with the torn meniscus where he just went under surgery for. So those are 2 main guys on this starting roster that haven't been there, not to mention Jae Crowder, who has not been there all year because we already know there's turmoil going on there and he's gonna get traded out sooner rather than later. But my overarching issue, and the reason we're making this video, is the fact that Devin Booker should at the very least be in MVP talks, and he's not even in talks as it stands right now. We've seen the MVP rankings come out very recently. Now, of course, they're media rankings. They're rankings that are essentially done by media outlets that they think. These aren't things that are solidified or anything like that. However, they do go a long way because the media are the ones that vote on MVP rankings, and when the media is putting out these rankings, these are the people that are voting, and it troubles me when I see Book lower on the rankings, especially when his team has been number 1 throughout the year consistently, and he's hooping without 3 of his main guys. That's something to me. I understand Luka doesn't have that much help, and he's pretty much carrying Dallas to every win that they have at this point, but with that being said, Luka has a full team. He doesn't have an injured team. He has a team that has all of its starters intact. Now, when we look at Jokic, of course, voter fatigue. So I won't even mention him too much because I think think he could still win MVP if voter fatigue wasn't a thing. We go look at Embiid. Embiid is doing his thing in Philly, of course, but they're also not doing as well as Phoenix is. And Harden being out does help Embiid's case. However, like I said, they're not doing as well as the Suns, and Philly looks like a team that they might be middle of the pack come the end of the season. But I can tell you for certain the Suns are more than likely going to be the #1 team in the West. As much as it hurts to say, as much as I hate to disappoint Laker Nation by saying that, it's more than likely going to happen. And I think it's about time we see Book in these MVP talks. We're a little bit late on the curve. I know the season is still early, so that gives you, the media, a chance to fix it, correct yourself, start looking at that boy in Phoenix and put him on that MVP ladder because he definitely deserves it. The only reason he's not being considered for MVP is because people consider him too cocky, and pretty much the basketball community looks at him and this team as if they're cocky guys that haven't earned it yet. Though I still feel the same way, I don't think that should come into play with regard to the MVP conversation or any other player awards for that matter. Some narratives should be left out of it. All of these awards are narrative driven. Of course they will be, but that is one of the narratives that should be left out of it, because at the end of the day, it is an opinionated narrative. I could think the Suns are cocky all I want to. They could very well all just be basking in the fruits of their labor and the fact that they're finally successful. But above all else, Book needs to be top 3, at least right now, top 3 in the MVP conversation. But that's all I got for you guys in this video. You already know, if you're not new, go ahead and drop a like on this video. And if you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. A lot of you guys that are watching are non-subscribers, and I wouldn't love anything more than for you to become a part of the community, talk basketball, debate basketball, whatever you guys want. But until next time, it is your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories and debates on the tube, and I'm out. Peace.
Young